Good afternoon, happy Sundays to everybody. Hope everybody's doing well. Back after a small couple day hiatus because my good Lord Almighty, I had one hell of a flash illness or whatever the hell it was, and absolutely gutted me and threw me to being bedbound for a good day or so. But I've recovered quite extraordinarily quick, so I ain't going to complain. We're somewhat back into the swing of things. I thought I'd do this just to sort of test the water because I've got somewhat of a cough and a sore throat. But if I'm recovering at super speeds, I mean, that's fantastic things for me. It can only be a positive. Um, and of course, shameless backgrounds. Carabao Cup winners get to parade. You still get to parade the fact that we won a trophy last season, unlike some other clubs who parade league finishes, like league places ahead of actual silverware, which is not great, but that's kind of the way that the cookie crumbles as far as football goes, and we're going to keep it just for the sake of vibes. But we are back, and we are talking about some really pleasantly positive news, and it comes in the form of the CEO conversations, because I put out a video, I did a stream recently where it came out confirming that Jean-Claude Blanc would not be the CEO, and I was kind of a little bit upset by that. I was a little bit sort of course, it's like we're on the high, right? We're on the high. Everything sort of feels too good to be true, right? It feels too good to be true. And then it sort of comes out with it's like, it's not true. It's not true. It's not really going to happen. It's not really going to be the case. But then this comes out, and this is the interesting thing, is that it came out of nowhere. There isn't this instance where your links, there's links to stories, they're writing your name and they're tying somebody else's name that's highly esteemed in the game of football, tying it to an important position at your football club. It wasn't like that at all. It literally just came out of nowhere, out of thin air. This guy immediately, and this is the thing, the club released a statement regarding it as well. They released a statement at the same time. It was just like, yeah, by the way, supporters, this guy is leaving Manchester City to come be our new CEO. Now, albeit his City's current COO, he cannot start work at Manchester United until the end of the season. So maybe he's here as part of the summer overhaul. But most importantly, is that he starts work on building a bridge, a very, very strong bridge, strong foundations between the business side of the club, but also the football side. And that the football side, you have to maximize your business side by maximizing your football side. And that one can't really live forever without the other. Now, we've lived on the business side for too long whilst neglecting the football side. And when the football side diminishes, the ceiling for your business appeal sort of drops as well, and you can't really push the business up any further whilst the football side is sinking. And without increasing the football side, you can't really go anywhere without improving on the football side. So ultimately, Manchester United were hitting its peaks, were hitting its business performance peaks, and wasn't really going to expand any further than what it was doing right there. The supporter demographic was going to start seeing a massive hit, because Manchester United, if you're not the most successful club, you can't expect your new supporters to decide to support your club. You can't do that. You're dreaming. You're dreaming that people are just going to start supporting Manchester United. Why? Because everybody else supported them for being successful. but they're not successful right now. But it doesn't matter. That's just a dream. Can't have it that way. If you want new fans, you've got to be successful. It's like Manchester City fans. There's loads of kids nowadays are City fans, and I mean like young kids are City fans. Why? Because they're getting into football. Who's the most successful team in the country? Oh yeah, Manchester City. Oh okay, so we'll support that team because it's sort of like you could say it's for the sake of bragging rights, but it becomes tribalistic as time goes on, I suppose. But whether the way modern football in this country is going, I don't know if tribalism is quite going to hit the same way as it has done throughout the years. Maybe we're sort of looking into a crystal ball and trying to assume things about how football's going to be down 5, 10, 15, 20 years down the line. Football, absolutely no doubt, my mind's going to be completely different about 10 to 20 years. Between that sort of time frame, it's going to be very different in terms of format of competition, in terms of prize distributions, prize pool fundings, you name it, whatever it may be. And yeah, it's going to be an interesting watch to see what happens. I mean, we might be fantastic, it might be shambolic. We'll have to see how it goes. But this move from Manchester United, I've got to say, I see reports saying Glazers, Joel Avram, they take credit for this. I'm going to say absolutely hell no. They they would literally not be able to tell the difference from their own arse and their own face. They wouldn't be able to tell the difference. This is 100% an Ineos inspired appointment. There's absolutely no way in hell that Joel Avram would have woken up on one morning and said, do you know what? Who would be a fantastic appointment for CEO at Manchester United? Omar Berrada. Omar Berrada would have been a world-class appointment for Manchester United. Let's do it today. Let's do the talks, conversations. We'll lay it all out on the table for him. We'll do all of that. Not a peep to the media. We'll get it swiftly done. Open and shut case. And just like that, communication from the club to the fans. Hey, look, this is the new CEO. That's not in the business model of the Glazers. That's not Glazonomic decisions. That's the Ineos decision. That is Ineos telling the people who can make influential decisions, you guys, we want you to appoint a new CEO to take charge in the summer. You want to go get someone good. How's that guy? How's that guy at Manchester City? Built them up. I think he's been there since 2011, I think, if I'm not mistaken. If I'm wrong, please correct me in chat, in the comments, I mean. But as a whole, what he's done at Manchester City, now people are going to immediately start talking about 115 charges. He's going to get banned. Well, is it the individuals that get banned or is it the institution? You've got to ask that sort of a question. Because if it's the institution that gets banned, then that's probably why he's jumping ship. It's either that or the deal he's been offered has been massively, a massive improved offer as to what he's currently earning, plus a promotion in position. So, of course, he's going to get better pay being the CEO of Manchester United than he's going to ever be as COO of Manchester City. But that's the thing. Manchester City don't sit there and go championing their board members. Go, oh, we bless the high exaltants of board members at Manchester City. Like, they don't worship them, right? They just get on with doing the job. Manchester United is still going to be Manchester United, right? And the fans are going to be one thing. I suppose we're going to have to give it some time before it becomes just second nature to the club, where you hire someone who's really good at their job and they just come in and they just do the job. And that might be a bit of, you might have to have a bit of patience before that really becomes a thing. However, Omar Berrada, I think, is actually a really, really good piece of business. Really, really good piece of business. The way it's happened it is absolutely a surprise, but I think it cannot be understated that what work has been done at Manchester City, 115 charges or not, the way that they're operating right now, in legality, is miles clear of everybody else. There is no close second place here. That's what you should be paying attention to. Manchester United are not coming from a position where Manchester City were before they became successful. They're starting with that backing. They're starting with the commercial drive, with that commercial revenue, with all of those things that Manchester City didn't have to start off with. So all the questions that you say, oh, but 115 charges, look at all of their, their, what was it, Abu Dhabi or Dubai? You know, look at all of their sponsorship revenue streams and all of those financial figures. Things don't quite add up. Things don't match. You don't really get those conversation like the doors for those conversations don't really open with Manchester United because the revenue streams, because business side has been the sole focus for the past 10 years above all else. Is that I think Omar Berrada, if he has that CEO's position, doesn't have to think about that. You don't have to think about worrying about, well, how am I going to get how am I going to get XYZ amount of income revenue to support, whatever it is that's going to happen for future investments in the team. Now, we've still got jobs ahead of us in terms of appointing the directors of football / sporting director, um, potentially even a COO. Who knows? Maybe we end up getting a COO as well. You never really know. I think, yeah, Berrada's confirmed as CEO. Of course, can't start until the summer. We can still appoint the director of football and sporting director. Um, both of those positions, or technical director, I should say, we can appoint both of those guys. Both positions we can fill out, and they can start work before the summer starts. So that becomes the next priority, I think, as far as Ineos are concerned. And I see a report as well today saying that talks about players signing in the summer. There's no real point, and this second, I completely second this because I was talking about players you're linked with now. There's no point talking about it because you're writing stories on behalf of the Glazer. Like the Glazer machine is still there. It's still in power right now. The ratification is not fully completed yet. It's still like we're close. Don't get me wrong, we're closing in on it, but it's not fully completed yet. The stories you're getting is just solely based on speculation. It's not real. It is not real. You can get influence, but you can't get decisions. And the transfer policy, because the work in the board structure is not done, and it's not anywhere near what Ineos want it to be before we get to the summer, means that all the transfer targets that we're trying to pin up on the drawing board right now, it's not real right now. It's just we're imagining that it is that is going to resemble something like that with some of the targets that we've been linked. Either that, or it's just the papers know which players to link to Manchester United in order to get people to believe that this is a realistic transfer link to a player. So that might just be part of the game, part of the grind for the media, mainstream media machine. Link some players with lesser known names and more unknown credentials, and say this is part of Ineos. This is part of Paul Mitchell's recommended this player. Paul Mitchell's not employed at the club. He can't recommend anybody. He cannot recommend anybody. He professionally cannot recommend anybody from Manchester United. He's not employed by the club. He might have said in a hallway conversation, and maybe the media's gone, well, if we write a story about this player that he's recommended to Manchester United, we can also link the fact that Paul Mitchell's recommended or is linked to Manchester United. We can also say that he is um, recommended the player or something like that. And yeah, it's just all speculation. All speculation. Nothing's going to happen to the summer. The transfer policy is going to change with the structure. It's going to change with the structure. Dan Ashworth is still on the cards. It's being repeated again. Dan Ashworth is still on the cards. Paul Mitchell is still in the pipe works. Paul Mitchell would rather be at Manchester United than at Roma, but we don't really know what the word is being fed to Paul Mitchell. And in live time, we'll have to find out, a day or two late. Maybe if Paul Mitchell takes the Roma job, it's not because he just couldn't be bothered to wait that long. It's just he was told, we appreciate what, your credentials, we appreciate what you could offer us, but we opt to go a different route. That could still legitimately happen. But Ineos have got an idea. Sir Jim Ratcliffe and Sir Dave Brailsford have an idea. They're acting on it. They're acting on it without power yet. That's a statement. That's a statement of intent. You don't have control. You are still having things done at Manchester United. Statement of intent. And once the power is given to them, what does that mean? What does that mean? It's the whole landscape of Manchester United could change completely within days to weeks. Days to weeks, the entire landscape could change. And that could ultimately be the beginning of a new dawn. And I think irrespective, it is going to be a new dawn, irrespective of what happens now. Because the intention has been made for the new CEO. That's without Ineos having power. We're moving into a point now where it's Ineos wants to get power. They've already got a load of other decisions that they've got lined up, or appointments that they've got lined up. I think Dan Ashworth, the second that Ineos get power, their people will be flying, driving, whatever, train riding, bike riding, running up to Newcastle to hold meetings with Dan Ashworth to bring into the club. We've taken OMAR BERRADA, Manchester City's COO, off of their books. And by the way, Manchester City fans, not happy about it. Literally, the amount of people saying, oh, he's a snake, he's a snake. Do you know what? I love it. I absolutely love it. He's in the pursuit of a project where he fancies bringing success back to Manchester United. He went to Manchester City in endeavour to bring success to City. He did that. And now he's joining Manchester United on the endeavour and the pursuit to bring success back to Manchester United. And I'm hoping where Man City and United did this, Manchester United go and do that to Manchester City again. Now, if Man City get punished with all of these charges, right, they're saying that relegation is nailed on. So, if that happens, that's Manchester City taking a humongous hit. A hit that's never been seen before on this level, or on this stage of football. And it would be humongous. Of course, it's not going to happen for a while in terms of the verdict. And it's not that I'm saying that these guys are guilty or not. As far as the criminal system or the justice system is concerned, it's innocent until proven guilty. And that's kind of the way it's got to be. That's the way it should stay. But it's just, even with Manchester City, even if they get found innocent of everything, I mean, it means absolutely nothing to OMAR BERRADA. It means absolutely nothing to Manchester United. It just means we carry on doing what we're doing, and nothing happens to the club that's, geographically located on the east side of the city. That's it. That is literally it. Manchester United, if we end up seeing Man City get relegated, do you know what? I'm not going to be sat here going, yeah. I'm just going to be like, okay, well, it's just a Premier League without Manchester City. There's a Premier League title that needs to be won by, the best team in England. You've now got to take incentive to that. Let's go and start winning titles. Let's go and start winning trophies again. Let's go compete for Champions Leagues. Let's go, let's be at the pinnacle of English football. Now they've said about statement releases regarding the project with Omar BERRADA. I'm not really fussed about that. I'm more of a actions speak louder than words, and that's kind of what I'm going to wait for with this. And I wonder if you guys are going to be in that same camp, or whether you're singing the joys and praises of celebration now. I mean, let me know what you guys think about this move in the comment section, whether you guys think it's a fantastic move, whether you're a bit cautious about it, whether you're not too sure about it, or whether you just think it's just an outright horrendous move by the club or whoever. Drop your thoughts and feelings in the comment section below. I'm going to wrap this up, and maybe there will be featurettes on by me on other streams, on other shows. We'll have to see how things go. Still on the recovery phase, and my voice is not quite up to scratch just yet, but I'm getting there. I'm impressed. I've not had to cough on camera yet, so I'm taking those positives. But make sure, please do smash the likes and subscribe. Share that video around. Get everyone else's thoughts and verdicts on the subject as well. There's plenty of other reactions to it. I've seen journalists from the Liverpool camp or a spokesperson of Redmen TV or somebody like that saying fantastic bit of business for United, terrible news for everybody else. That's from a Liverpool supporter. So there it is. There it is. It's an inclination as to what people actually think of that move. And you know what? It should be continuation to making these big statements of intent to be the best club in the country. And it's time that us United fans start to get back on top with the standards conversation. Let's start talking about being champions again. Let's start talking about being better than everybody else. We can't talk about being better, or we can't talk about celebrating success if we don't demand it. And that's kind of where the conversations have got to be in tandem to these changes, because it's all well and good you make a change to the structure of Manchester United, and it might say, well, we want to be successful, we want to be winning things. If the fans are just like, oh cool, we don't really care, then they might see failure and not feel incentivized to push for success, because they're not being punished for it, they're not being chased for it, they're not, there's no real, there's smoke, but there's just embers now, right? They don't feel like it's we don't need to worry about that. They'll feel like, yeah, actually we've got to stay on top of this, we've got to be on top of our game, so let's stay on the perch. Like Ferguson said, that when he took over, he wanted to knock Liverpool off of their fucking perch. Let's knock Manchester City off of their fucking perch, right? Let's do that, yeah, and let's keep them down. Let's keep them down there, and let's get back to dominating English football. That's what I want. Whether we get that or not is a completely different argument. But that's what I want, and that's the chest I'm going to speak with. I want that. I want that. I ain't going to predict it and say that's going to happen. I'm going to say, but I want that. That's where my standards are. That's where my feelings about Manchester United are. So let's get back to it. Um, but you guys put your thoughts and your feelings in the comment section below. That's it from me for today, unless I appear on a stream later on tonight. I have to see. Um, Unfortunately, for the meanwhile, we have to continue with the X-Man, Patrick Stewart, X-Man, Magneto. It's not Magneto, it's somebody else. But even still, Star Trek Commander, whatever label you want to give him, he's going to be in charge until the end of the season. But I know factually that Ineos are just going to be like, well, we're still going to get on with doing what we want to do with this club anyway. So, but leave your thoughts and feelings in the comment section below. Make sure to like and subscribe if you haven't done so already, and all of that good stuff. On the road to 200 subs now. On the road to 200 subs, you know, we've completed the first half of the 1 to 200 subscriber marathon. And let's see if we can get there. Let's see if we can get to hitting 200 subs and all that good stuff. And if we do that, then absolutely magnificent. But that's it from me for tonight. Thank you very much for watching. Take care, goodbye, and maybe by the time I've uploaded this video, maybe they've broken news that Dan Ashworth is going to be joining United, like next week or something. I mean, this news came out of nowhere, so why not? Why not? You know, watch this space. I'll see you next time. Take care, goodbye, God bless.